Hello BookTube, Sarah here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a video about my romantic suspense recommendations for series. So earlier this month I did a romantic suspense recommendations video for standalone books. So this is now for series books. In this video I'm going to recommend the entire series, I'm going to recommend the series. I'm only going to talk about the first books though. And I will leave links to those first novels in the description box below. So if you want to go and check out and see if the whole series will be good to you, you can definitely do that. So I have 5 of them here I want to talk about, so let's jump in and get started. The first one is the Body Mover series by Stephanie Bond. This is a romantic suspense, but it's more on the, I want to say almost cozy side. There are murders that take place in this book and things like that, but it's still a really light read. The entire premise of the series, it's about a girl named Carlotta. And when she was 17 years old, her parents skipped town. Her father was accused of white-collar crimes, and her parents skipped bail and left town. And left her to raise her 10-year-old brother. So now 10 years have passed, she's 27, and Wesley is now 20. And he's into trouble with mobsters because he owes money for gambling and drugs and, you know, all these things. And she's trying to make ends meet by working at Neiman Marcus. And, of course, her ex-fiancé, the guy that she dated all through high school comes back and, you know, that he misses her, and then all of a sudden his wife ends up dead. So, you know, and she's like a prime suspect. It was really, really good. It's a great series. The whole Body Movers concept is that Wesley ends up taking a job with a local body mover, working with the morgue, to try and make money to pay off some of his debts. And she ends up helping them out. So, yeah, it goes from there. They were really, really cute, and I did enjoy them quite a bit. The next one is the Brown and Deluca series by Maggie Shayne. The first book is Sleep with the Lights On. I read this one last year. I think we read this one as part of, back when I used to do the book club. And this one is a very scary, almost paranormal spin on a mystery series. So it's about a woman who writes self-help books on how to be positive, and a cop, a local cop. I believe his last name is Brown and hers is Deluca, if I remember correctly. And the two of them kind of team up together in the first book because she was blind, and then she ends up getting a cornea transplant that allows her to see. And I know some of that's very far-fetched, and I get that, but, you know, suspend some of your disbelief for some of the book. This book was seriously creepy. Seriously creepy. She starts witnessing things that the killer did. So, you know, the cop has his own backstory of things that went on with him in the recent past. And, you know, the series kind of follows the two of them. I think there's only like 2 or 3 books in the series. I don't think it went that far. So you're not investing too much, but it's still really good. Oh, and for the Body Mover series, there was originally 6 books. Then I think there's now up to 8 books. But, you know, they're really fun and easy to read as well. So that's that one. The next one I want to talk about is the Capital Canine Unit. And this series is by various authors. It is a love-inspired suspense series. And the first book is called Protection Detail by Shirlee McCoy. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. This is essentially about a group of people who work as dog handlers, law enforcement dog handlers, and or canine police officers, essentially. There's an overarching storyline involving a senator, because this takes place in Washington, D.C., involving a senator's son's murder and some woman who goes missing and another woman who's killed. So there's this overarching all the books. But each book individually is a self-contained story within that sphere of the big story. And yeah, I really like these. Like I said, various authors, which is always a lot of fun because you really truly get different voices for all the characters, or all the different characters in each of the books. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. The next one is the FBI U.S. Attorney series, and that's by Julie James. The first book is called Something About You. And these veer more onto the romance than the romantic suspense. They're very spicy stories. Julie James is a great, great author. This is a fabulous series about, essentially as it says, FBI agents and U.S. attorneys, and, you know, how they interact with each other in different cases, and, of course, romance ensuing, and, you know, a mystery element. They are a lot of fun, and I highly recommend them. And I could not talk about a romantic suspense anything without mentioning, in my opinion, my favorite author. Well, your favorite author should always be your opinion, but for this kind of thing, and that would be Heather Graham. But I'm not actually going to mention The Crew of Hunters because I've talked about that one so much. So I thought I'd give shout out to another series of hers. and that is the Flynn Brothers trilogy. And so, like I said, trilogy, there's only 3 books in the series. This one veers more on the supernatural slash paranormal than just a romantic suspense series. I read these ones years and years ago, and I think I read them back to back to back when they were released. So it came out like September, October, November, and I read them each of those months. And you know what? To be honest, I would recommend you do that as well, because the books are set during those time periods, and it really lends to the atmosphere of the books to read them in the fall months. So the entire premise of the series is about 3 brothers, the Flynn brothers, and it starts off, the first book is in New Orleans just after Katrina, and essentially, you know, stuff's happening at this antebellum mansion, and there's ghosts involved, and he's a police officer and falls in love with the woman who, I think she runs this mansion's, like, museum or something like that. I can't remember. It's been a number of years since I read it, but it was really, really good. The second book is the one that scared the living daylights out of me. Deadly Harvest is the second book. It takes place in Salem, Massachusetts over Halloween, and there's a man who is killing young girls, not young, but, you know, early 20s, and stringing them up in cornfields as scarecrows. Very creepy. So again, each of these stories is self-contained. You could read them out of order if you wanted to. You can read them separately if the first one doesn't sound good, but the second one sounds really good. Go ahead and read that one. I think the third one actually takes place in Ireland. But yeah, they were all fantastic, and I absolutely recommend them. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this was part of March Mystery Madness. Not quite my last March Mystery Madness video. I got one more coming out next Friday. It's kind of nice having the 5 Fridays in a month, isn't it? So yes, March Mystery Madness is a booktube event that is going on with, I think, like 20 other hosts, and I will leave a link to all of their information in the description box below, along where you can find March Mystery Madness on Goodreads and on Twitter. And yeah, that's it, guys. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these series and what you thought about them. Did you have any favorite books from these series? Or are there any other ones that you could recommend? Because I'd love to hear it. I'm always on the lookout for new books. And until next time, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.